In guitar recording, there's pretty much three mics that we use. The Shure SM57, Sennheiser 421, and this. This is a Royer 121 ribbon mic.
Not in 2021. I'm just kidding. Rick Beato's a pretty awesome musician, producer, and YouTuber. He really knows his shit. Sorry, didn't mean to dog you, bud. What I meant was, in 2021, if you don't have Rick's amp collection, mic collection, and YouTube money, there are still ways to get some incredible tones. Keep in mind that in order to get that amazing tube sound we all want and love, you can't just have the amp. You also gotta crank it and get those tubes working. So having the amps, the mics, the preamps, and the know-how to use all of them is great. But if you don't have a professional recording room where you can turn the volume up to 6, 7, 11, you're probably not going to get that tube amp sound you're looking for. The reason you just dropped $4,000 on it. Now, as far as other options, I happen to use a couple of them in the studio and on the road. So let me show you what's up. If you're thinking about investing in, say, a Bogner Shiva or any other amazing amp, you're going to be spending a minimum of $1,500. That's for a used amp. For a new one, add another $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. Then you're getting a 57, that's $100. You're getting a 421, that's another $400. And the incredible Royer Rick mentioned earlier at $1,300. Now, if I got my numbers right, you're looking at $3,300 plus tax. That's not including the mic pre's and the great room where you can blast the amp. And don't forget, it's one amp. Now, I own a Shiva, a 57, and a Royer mic, but if you want to know what I use the most in this studio, it's this guy, the Kemper Profiler. The way it works is, it profiles amps by sending a signal to them, then reading that signal from a mic on your amp, and then reproducing it based on the info it got in that process. Pretty amazing, right? Rick Beato actually has a video about profiling his amps, and you can check it out here. If you go to about 9 minutes and 50 seconds, you can actually hear the weird alien sounds that it makes when it's profiling an amp. Now, it also has a bunch of effects, from awesome compressors and EQs to incredible delays and reverbs, and on and on and on, as well as an endless amount of profiled amps. You can actually buy other people's profiles online. They go and they profile their amps with great mics and put it online for you to buy. By the way, all the links I'm mentioning will be below in the description. You want a Dumble Overdrive special? That'll be roughly $30,000. Or you can get a profile of it online for $15 here, or $40 here. You want a 1958 Fender Twin? No problem. That'll be $14,000. Or you can get a profile of it online for $15. In fact, Rick Beato did the same thing and is selling profiles of his amps to anyone who's interested. You get the point, right? Sure, again, if you have the money and the recording room to crank all these amps, by all means do it. It doesn't get much better than the real deal. But if you're on a budget, you can get a lot more for one price. Oh, and that reminds me, a brand new Kemper Profiler is, drumroll, $1,800. Now, this is what I use in the studio. After going back and forth, I decided to invest into what some might call the competition for my live rig. Since I joined Enrique Iglesias in 2015, I was trying to get away from the Pod HD 500s they were using at the time and get on board with some new boards with much better sounds and tones. Those boards ended up being the Fractal AX8s. We had 2 of them on stage, as well as a few backups traveling the world with us at all times. Since I started playing again with Smash Mouth in 2019, I got rid of my pedals and went AX8 on that gig as well, as you can see in the stage footage I posted in our New Zealand video. The biggest difference between the 2 gigs is that with Enrique, we went direct out in stereo from the pedal boards, no amps. With Smash Mouth, I go out stereo into 2 boogie amps. The Fractals work a tad different than the Kempers. You can't profile your amp, but they already have their own version of amp modeling in them. Like the Kempers, you can get really detailed with every little feature you want. In fact, I dare say you can get even more detailed on the Fractals than on the Kempers. Some of you may disagree. That's actually the only drawback I can find to having a Fractal or Kemper unit. There are so many details that you can get overwhelmed if you let all the parameters and numbers get to you. My suggestions are to always listen to the presets, see what you like, play around with the gear a lot, and read the manual. I promise you'll get it if you put the time in. If not, just call me. So Rick, I love you, bud, but for 2021, I'm gonna stick with my Kemper and Fractal units. Though now I know who to call when I need some incredible amps and guitars. Or I'll just buy your Kemper Profiler package. That's it. Please like, sub, comment, because it really helps us, and I'll catch you next week.